Hey guys, welcome to the show. If you'd like to support this channel, there's PayPal and Patreon links in the info box below. We got a great show lined up for you today. We have the beautiful Betty Van Velsen. How's it going today, Betty?
Yeah, great. I'm great. Thank you. Hello, everybody.
We've got Chocolate from Chocolate. What's up, Chocolate?
Chocolate from chocolate. Awesome. What's up, man? Good to be here.
And we have some 24/7 boys. We got Jose Mesa and FE Jedi. How's it going today, Jose?
Great, man. Thanks for having us here, man. Appreciate it.
FE Jedi, what's good, sir?
Yeah, all good, buddy. Thanks, and thank you very much for the invite tonight, man. Looking forward to the show.
Well, what to talk about?
My thumbnail?
Your thumb? Yeah, your thumb. Well, go ahead. Explain.
Explain? What's that to explain?
He's looking at you right now.
It's my Rambo's black swan. I like him. And I would love to see more of these memes. If people want to make these memes of a black swan, I would love to see them in the Discord server. And maybe make some sort of a collection of all these nice thumbnails that we can use maybe in the future. So I'll challenge people to be creative and post them in the Discord server.
Hey, Betty, I guess when we have time, we'll send you some of our emojis. We've made black swan emojis, white swan and black swans.
Ah, nice. Yay. How fast that arrives, right? If something is sort of running through the community, it pops up everywhere. It's great.
Why would you guys do that? This is just an anomaly.
How do you have a geometric anomaly, though? How does that work?
I don't know. I'd like to see one. Have anyone on the panel, you gentlemen, seen a geometric anomaly before?
I've seen several anomalies, but not a geometric one.
Jose?
Nope.
And how many horizons have you seen before? Most
Millions.
people. Say again?
Millions.
Oh, all right. Let me context it. How many? Very good point. Well played. How many horizons have you seen at one time?
One.
I would go out on a limb to say one.
Just
Yeah.
one.
There can be only one.
There could be only one. Black swan. Black swan.
Yep.
What else is out there? Has anyone heard the most recent comebacks? I should say flailing, pathetic, juvenile comebacks where, and I just brought him up, where it's an anomaly and apparent horizons. I don't understand it. I hear it it's been going on for about a week now. What is so hard to understand that apparent horizon is redundant? Is it just me?
Nope.
It's a horizon. There it is. It's not apparent. There it is.
Apparent, and we're going to go over this because this is we're gonna cross that obstacle here right quick. But apparent is in the definition of horizon, so it's tantamount to dark night, chromatic rainbows. I just don't. I don't understand. I don't get it. I'm sorry. I wish somebody would explain it to me. I mean, this says there's nothing there. They just make it up. Everyone parrots it. Apparent horizon. have no problem saying it, not embarrassed. Even after you explain it, guess what they say? Apparent horizon.
Apparent horizon.
Yeah.
Well, I think what's happening is now we have to talk about multiple horizons. I mean, that's why you started it off with how many horizons does everybody see, right? Because before a few weeks ago, we only heard about one. But apparently now there's all types of horizons we need to worry about. There's even horizons you can't see. So yeah, something has changed apparently in their narrative, right? So what could that possibly be, John? I don't know.
Apparently.
Yeah.
Apparently, their apparent position has apparently changed.
Apparently.
All right, gentlemen, and ladies. Let's get to it. Let's talk about the foundation of the entire argument. The horizon. So let's take a look at some definitions. From Wiki, their alma mater, Merriam-Webster, Oxford Dictionaries, and National Geographic. And go through here and let's reason together. So, horizon is the apparent line that separates the earth from the sky. Horizon, the line where the earth seems to meet the sky. The apparent junction of the earth and sky sailing toward the horizon. Horizon, the line at which the earth's surface and the sky appear to meet. Now, does the sky ever actually meet the ground or sea? No. That's why it's apparent. Or I should say that's one reason why it's apparent. From National Geographic. Pay close attention. The local horizon, also called the geometrical horizon, is the visible boundary between the earth and the sky. I don't know how many times in the past 10 days that I've been told or have heard other people on other shows, in Discord, in print, saying that the geometrical horizon is non-visible. That is, you don't ever see it. Just making stuff up isn't going to cut it, especially the antithesis of the definition. I mean, really? Let me say it again. From National Geographic, the local horizon, also called the geometrical horizon, is the visible boundary between the earth and sky. Now, is the geometrical horizon apparent? Yeah. Why? Well, two reasons. Number one, we just went over. The sky never, ever actually touches the ground or the sea. That's number one, why it's apparent. Number two, for the geometrical horizon, it is based on the observer's height. That means it varies with your height. It's based on the geometry. Any questions? This is rhetorical. I really don't know what to say. I'm at a loss to see why people can't understand this. Or is it willful ignorance? It's going to get painful over the next, it's been painful so far, but over the next year, it's going to get exponentially more painful when you come out here in front of people that kind of know what a horizon is, and you ballers keep on screwing the pooch right in front of everyone. It's going to get very embarrassing. Just want to let you know. They're laughing at you right now. So keep on keeping on with your apparent horizons. Now, what can obstruct or obfuscate or obscure the geometric horizon? Because you have to have one in your sphere paradigm. You must have this. It's a geometrical certainty. What can obscure it? Well, weather, atmospheric conditions, waves, and tides. This is the very important point. The horizon, geometrical horizon, can never be more than 1.225 times the square root of the observer's height in feet. Now, it can be closer than 1.225 times the square root of the observer's height in feet. Due to what? Well, what we just went over. Weather, atmospheric conditions, waves, tides, etc. However, on the ball-tard ball, the geometric horizon can never be more than what its geometric constraints allow. Again, it's based on the observer's height and the radius. From Andrew Thomas Young, San Diego State University, Astronomy Department. The subject matter expert. If h is in meters, that makes the distance to the geometric horizon 3.57 times, or 3.57 kilometer times square root of the height of the eye in meters, or about 1.23 miles times the square root of the eye height in feet. It's in stone. It's gospel. It's based on geometry. You can't get around it. You can't change it. I'd like to see somebody, you know what? Earlier today, I went to the site and I screenshotted that page, right? Because I'm not putting past, over the past 3 years of my experiences, I'm not putting them past them trying to get around this. I'd love to see it, right? Because this isn't subjective, it's objective. But I wouldn't put it past them to try to get around this. I really wouldn't. It's going to be fun. Let's get to it with that backdrop. The death of the ball-tard spinning space monkey religion. Again. If the Earth is a sphere with a radius of 3959 miles, then every horizon distance measurement must be no more than 1.225 times the square root of the observer's height in feet. That's the geometric horizon, the one we just defined above. May I present to you the black swan? Now, I don't care, like I said many times, about these oil platforms and what you can see and what's happening with the cranes. I don't care if there are 10 Chinese Supermans on a purple tutu, wearing purple tutus on a hobbled pink unicorn, refracting off either or both of these platforms. I don't care about the platforms whatsoever. It's not a part of the argument. Don't bring it up. It's red herring fallacy. That is, it's a diversion and irrelevant to the argument. The argument is only and solely concerning the horizon behind the platforms. That's it. The horizon. I don't care what you see in here. Don't care. These platforms are simply used to demarcate distance. Platform Hillhouse at 6.21 miles and Platform Habitat at 9.41 miles. The horizon is clearly behind these platforms. Does everyone understand this? You don't, because later today somebody's going to bring up the refracting cranes. So, the observer's height in this photo taken from the video, from the original video, if you'd like to see it, it's in the info box below this video, or just hit the collector's edition of the #1 Globe Killer. He's clearly, roughly, right around 1 foot. Now, what I did in the actual photo, I gave everyone 5 feet. So there would be no question about it. We can get past that point instead of arguing it for 25 minutes. It doesn't matter anyway. I'm going to show you. But at 1 foot, the distance to the geometric horizon is greater than 9.41 miles. We can see it right here. The horizon's right there. It is beyond the second platform. The distance to horizon maximum for a sphere with a radius of 3959 miles, we just went over it above with the subject matter expert, Andrew Thomas Young, that equals 1.22 miles. It's based on the observer's height at 1 foot. Now, like I said, I gave you 5 feet. The 5-foot observer height at this position, the maximum distance to the geometric horizon is 2.73 miles. So somewhere way up in here, right? Way down here. It might not even be on the picture. Even if BMLSB 69 was standing 35 feet at the shore, which is ridiculous, the maximum distance to the geometric horizon is 7.24 miles. Even at 35 feet observer height. You see how ridiculous this is, folks? So the observer's height we can just take off the table right now. At 35 feet, that horizon should be in between platform habitat and platform hill house at 7.24 miles. It's not. Clearly. Now, this is the argument. And it's been a tell over the past week, especially yesterday. And like I said, for the past 10 days, excuse me, nobody can restate the argument back to me. This is the argument. You have to argue against the argument, not what you think the argument is. Not the photo just yet. That's the evidence for the argument. You have to understand the argument. If you do understand the argument, then I shouldn't hear anything about the oil platforms. Nothing. Zero. They can be doing cartwheels in place. It doesn't matter. It doesn't have anything to do with the argument. And if you restate the argument, like I'm going to do now, you'll see why. Modus tollens. Holy shnikes. This is going to leave a mark. If P, then Q, not Q, therefore not P. If the Earth is a sphere with a radius of 3959 miles, P, then every horizon distance measurement must be no more than 1.225 times the square root of the observer's height in feet, Q. Not Q, because the horizon distance is greater than 9.41 miles in the black swan photo, therefore not P, i.e., the Earth is not a sphere. It's a very simple argument. Make sure you have people restate it back to you right from the start, right from get-go, the jump street. If you don't, you're going to be chasing fairy tales. The ball-tart spinning space monkey community, please allow me to introduce to you your black plague, the black swan. There she is. Isn't she a beaut? Questions, comments?
No, it's pretty clear, man. Pretty straightforward. I still don't see how people don't understand this argument, but it's clear that some of them do, but just have to obfuscate because, they don't have a rebuttal to this. So I see that that's probably the problem.
My favorite thing about this whole argument is when they do try to invoke the refraction and you try to pin them down to which type of refraction they're referring to. They won't pick one because the minute they pick one of the factors of refraction, towering, stooping, looming, sinking, mirages, as soon as they pick one, you can apply it and then just destroy the whole argument. So a good example was yesterday we had a guy come in, right, QE? And he would not want to stake the claim which refraction he was discussing. He just kept saying refraction.
Yes, I have yet to have a single baller give me the 5 effects types of refraction. Have you guys heard anyone say it?
No, not at all. It's just refraction. begging the question, refraction at that.
I don't know, ladies and gentlemen. If you're going to claim something that's responsible or the cause for something, you kind of have to know what it is. Don't you think?
But your Andrew Young, someone says in the chat, he says defines horizon as an ill-defined term used in many ways. See apparent horizon, astronomical horizon, and geometric horizon. So there's 3.
Now there's actually 5. We're going to get to those towards the end.
So yeah, that's where they get now their 3 horizons at, because of that source, right? That you put out.
I don't know if somebody would tell them or write down in a citation that they weren't actually humans, that they that they were actually facultative anaerobe woodpeckers, they'd believe them.
Yeah, they do believe that because they think they stem from monkeys, right?
Yeah.
And that ink, paper, and glue molecules make up whole books.
That ink, paper, and glue molecules
Right,
can author technical instruction manuals and blueprints.
Yeah, they think that too.
Yeah, just because some knucklehead writes something down, it doesn't have any cowbell behind it. Who cares? Right? All we need from Andrew Thomas Young, and we don't even need that. I mean, it's the horizon is based on simple geometry. We don't need Andrew Thomas Young for that. We all know it. It's a simple calculation. So we do.
The thing is that I've never heard this argument in all the time that I'm here in this flat Earth scene since 2014. I've never heard about 3 horizons ever.
You know, Betty, I was going to ask you guys because I'm sure everybody here has been in this longer than I have, and I was going to say, well, have any of you guys ever heard an argument that supposes 3, 4, 5 horizons? Ever?
Never. Never ever. I've even heard that on flat Earth you can't even have an horizon. So that's
Yeah, I've
something
heard
that I've
that.
heard too. So, and now we have 3 all of a sudden. I don't know where they pick these things up.
And supposedly a magical one that we don't even see. Isn't that great?
What's
I
the
got some super chats to shout out.
Go ahead,
If
Betty.
I may.
Yep, go ahead.
Okay. So we had one of the Mind of God. He was there before the show even started. He must have liked my thumbnail, I think. We got we got from Emma UK. I don't have much to give, but thank you, Hart. And James Richards, he says, where would Flat Earth be without the historic QE?
Wow, James. Wow, man. Thank you. The flat Earth would still be here. They'd still have a bunch of good people out here, exposing it. Right? Everyone was on the trail in the beginning. A lot of the arguments from the beginning still stand true. Right? The only thing this argument does, right? I love it because it's so simple. And you can present it to, Joe Coffey or Sally Breadmaker. You like how I changed that, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thanks.
You can just give it to them. You don't need to harp on it. Just give it to them. Tell them to review it. It should take about 15 to 30 seconds, depending on how fast they can fog a mirror, and they can see it. It doesn't take any pressing the flesh with this argument. 2 slides and it's over. 2 slides, and I'll show you the 2 slides. This one should arrive second. You could put this one in third. But the Modus Tollens argument, very clear cut. None of the premises are invalid. If the Earth is a sphere with a radius of 3959 miles, the last time I looked, that's what they've been saying for about 5 years now. then every horizon distance measurement must be no more than the geometric horizon. It's based on geometry. So the argument's valid. And the conclusion follows if you can show otherwise. It's just that simple. Right? Now, this slide and the actual photo, this is too easy. So that's why I like it so much. That's why I'm going to push it so much. I'm like I said, I promised everyone I'm going to do this every time I go live. And obviously I need to, because a lot of people don't understand this argument. They just don't. Am I imagining this, or am I in the ballpark? Panel.
Nope. Well,
Nope.
what about the other black swans?
There are other black swans. How would you?
Where
Yeah,
are
but how would you know if there are or not other black swans if you didn't have a black swan to compare it with? Pray tell.
Okay, well, we have another black swan here. Nathan joined the chat.
Oh, he did. What's
Maybe
up,
he has
Nathan,
an
sir?
idea.
Yep.
Hello. How you doing? Thanks for having me.
You feeling better, sir?
What's up, Nate?
Yeah, I'm all right.
What's your take?
I think a lot of people don't understand the argument. They don't understand what a geometric horizon is. Start telling us about it being loomed, and nobody claims that we've got a geometric horizon. All sorts of other crap.
Yes, sir.
In today's,
Go ahead.
I was going to say, in today's debate, we had that Dr. Phil something or other in the chat, Professor Phil something or other, and he said nobody denies that the horizon's physical. You're like, oh right, well that's nice. You're one of the few that doesn't currently deny that it's physical because we've debunked the physicality with the black swan picture. But nevertheless, you think it's still physical, do you? Oh, that's good, because that's what we're trying to have to reverse convince people that have been telling us for years that it's physical, that it's now not longer physical anymore. So, yeah, nice that there's a couple of people still out there that admit their own rhetoric. However, we've debunked that physical geometric horizon with the black swan, just so everyone knows.
Thank you, sir. Jose, have you heard anyone speak it, or text the original argument or the actual argument back to you?
Nobody understands it. Every time we bring this up, even to people that claim they know it, they're just talking about the cranes or talking about refraction. No one actually addresses the actual modus tollens. They try to move straight to the refraction. So no, I haven't heard it repeated back. Maybe we should start hammering with that first. Like, be like, all right, this is the modus tollens. Read it to us, and then refute that, because it doesn't seem like they take that route ever. They just go straight to the refraction argument.
Yep, that's what I've noticed too. And what did I do last night when I was challenged?
You well, first you were challenged. The person said that he will debate you on the black swan. So you asked him if he understood it. Said yes. Came in, completely did not understand it. Did not read the modus tollens correctly. Added his own idea, said about flat water, that you're trying to prove flat water, which wasn't in the modus tollens. So yeah, that was a shit show.
Yeah, I asked him because he said he PM'd me last night and said, I killed the black swan and now I'm frying him. I said, oh, really? All right. He came in. I said, what's the argument? And he goes, that water's flat. So, folks, give me a break. FE Jedi, have you heard anyone state the actual argument?
No, not at all. Like Jose says, and everybody says, nobody understands it. They don't even understand modus tollens. I wonder if even if they understand the alphabet and what Q and P are. So no, they don't get it. Not at all.
So, flat earthers, I keep on saying this. If you're going to challenge ballers, I don't even know why you challenge them anymore, because they're toast. But if it does happen and they challenge you, ask them to restate the argument right out of the gate. right? It will go so much easier for you because then you can solely concentrate on what the actual argument says. The horizon, geometric horizon, is way too far to be on a ball at 39.59 miles. Hope you guys can appreciate that. I'm just trying to save you time and anguish listening to our nonsense. All right, let's continue. Any other, before we continue, anything else?
Nope.
Just one thing I will jump in and say is the people that don't understand the argument are the zealots on the ball side. We have on the 24/7 Discord have had conversations about the black swan because everybody's name's Black Swan and we're shoving it down people's throats. And people that are curious and people that are finding flat earth for the first time, yeah, they get it. And I've heard people go, oh, I understand what you mean. So yeah, the denial is from the zealots, but people that are interested, they get it.
Yeah.
I've been hearing that some flat earthers don't get it.
Yeah, isn't it so that they think that it's a white swan?
I just
every
been
day
hearing it.
thing.
I just been hearing it on the grapevine. It could be rumors, but I've been hearing whispers.
Yeah, I get people sending me messages saying this flat earther doesn't get it, and then a quote, and you go, yeah, they don't. So it's not rumors. People are sending me quotes from flat earthers that don't get it.
I've had, in fact, yesterday, Nathan, I put I don't put too many comments under videos anymore, but one caught my eye. And if you're listening out there, Grace, I replied to you and you deleted the entire thread. Grace, I mean, give me a break. And you're a flat earther. You deleted the entire thread. Why? Why? You didn't think anyone was going to go down and read your train wreck post, right? I just don't understand it. You define integrity and moral character, moral courage. Define these things, please. Let's move on. Oh, Happy New Year, by the way. The birth of the Black Swan is January 2nd, 2020, just to let everyone know. And ironically, I put it out first on Betty's Discord channel, and then in the next 30 seconds, I put it out on 24/7. So that was January 2nd. For memoriam. Potential debunks. BMLSB 69 isn't 1 foot elevation. We already talked about this. See the original video underneath this video in the info box. Won't take you too long. Just hit play. It'll come up right quick. Or see the collector's edition of the #1 Globe Killer. There's no question here. Number 2, there is land that is islands behind the platform. I went through this again on the #1 Globe Killer Collector's Edition, showing not only on Google Earth and in the context of the video where the land was, and it's not behind those 2 platforms. The only thing behind them is open sea. Number 3, you can't see the horizon. I don't know, folks.
That's my favorite one.
1 second. Smoke 'em if you got 'em.
Welcome.
Sorry for the delay. I'm back. Any questions on you can't see the horizon?
I was gonna say that is my favorite one. I don't have any questions about it, except for like, are you blind? Are you looking at the right picture? Like, are you delusional? These are the only questions I have because the horizon is so clear back there that it's not even funny.
Just if somebody rearranges that to say you can't see the geometric horizon, what would your reply be?
Well, the geometric horizon is obviously not where it's supposed to be, so there can't be a geometric horizon.
And
I'm not sure what else.
well,
So-
you say, welcome to flat Earth. So
Yeah.
the geometric
Yeah, I
horizon
was-
isn't something we can see. Well, welcome to flat Earth. That's correct. That's what we would argue. Yeah, we can't see a geometric physical globe horizon. That's correct.
It's been a long day at work for Chocolate. He was all over that. In fact, he was the one who started that.
Me,
Yeah, you
Yeah,
did.
me, I did.
Yeah. So I'm just saying, if you can't see the horizon here, folks, everyone could see it. You're just making a horse's ass out of yourself if you can't see the horizon, or you say it's not behind these two platforms. You need to make an ophthalmologist appointment ASAP. White swans. This photo right here is taken from the same gentleman who took the original black swan. This was 2 months later. He took the original black swan photo right here in October, and this in December, the same year, 2016. Now, this has nothing to do with my argument. That's why I said always have them state the argument. If they bring up a photo after they restate the argument, it's a red herring fallacy. In fact, it's non sequitur. It doesn't follow. So, listen, there's a lot of shenanigans going on here. Just what we do know. What about the things that we don't? We can obviously see some atmospheric conditions here. And the sea was angry that day, my friends. Right? Waves, tides, etc. It has nothing to do with my argument. Nothing. This photo was kind of interesting. Like I said, the other day I took a little closer look at this in comparison to the argument. Now, this was taken 4 days after the Black Swan. Same platforms, Platform Hill House, Platform Habitat, right? Looks like it was a little different angle to them, no problem. And in this video, when he took this shot, he was standing up. So I would say a good 5-6 feet observer height. Doesn't matter, right? Now, what can we see here? Where's the horizon? Well, it looks like it's at the base of Platform Hill House. Well, that's 6.2 miles away. Now, we can't be precise. There isn't a definite marker there, so there's some question. However, if he's at 5 foot, right, how far should the horizon be? Well, it should be 2.73 miles. Probably somewhere before the start of this picture over here, right? We can generally say that this is most likely another black swan. Like I said, we can't be precise. I won't push it. But this also has nothing to do with my argument. Does it? Restate the argument. I'll do it for you. If the Earth is a sphere with a radius of 3959 miles, then every horizon distance measurement must be no more than, I highlighted it in red and underlined it for a reason, because it's really important. Every horizon distance measurement must be no more than 1.225 times the square root of the observer's height in feet. Does this photo have anything to do with my argument? No. And of course, number 5, refraction, right? And we already went over this. Everyone who has been in this discussion for the past few weeks have heard this. People just go, refraction, right? And then you know the next question that's coming to them because you've heard it. What are the 5 types of refraction? You all heard that question? And guess what the ballers say? Nada. They don't know them. They haven't known them. They just been saying refraction since 2015 without knowing the types. of atmospheric refraction. So it's over. I'm going to show you how bad it's over. From their alma mater wiki, atmospheric refraction near the ground produces mirages. Such a refraction can also raise or lower, or stretch or shorten the images of distant objects without involving mirages. Well, how many types or effects of atmospheric refraction are there in this definition? 1, mirages. 2, raising. 3, lowering. 4, stretching. 5, shortening. Kind of apodictic, isn't like self-evident? Just from the wiki definition. Let's do wiki again, however, with a twist. We got our favorite subject matter expert, Andrew Thomas Young, cited here. While mirages are the best known atmospheric refraction phenomena, looming and similar refraction phenomena do not produce mirages. Mirages show an extra image or images of the miraged object, while looming, towering, stooping, and sinking do not. No inverted image is present in those phenomena either. Depending on the atmospheric conditions, the objects can appear to be elevated or lowered, stretched or stooped. These phenomena can occur together, changing the appearance of different parts of the objects in different ways. Sometimes these phenomena can occur together with a true mirage. So he gives it to us again. There are 5 types or effects of atmospheric refraction that are identified here. Let's count them by the numbers. 1, mirages. 2, looming. 3, towering. 4, stooping. 5, sinking. It's cut and dry. That's why I ask you when you say your one-word response to the black swan argument, what are the 5 types of refraction? I want to see if you know them. And since you said refraction, you have to context one of these types with the actual black swan argument. You follow that? Does that make sense? Let's do it for you. So, like I said, there are 5 effects of refraction. Number 1, so is the horizon miraged? Well, let's take a look at the actual definition from above. Mirages show an extra image or images of the mirage object. Is there an extra horizon in the black swan photo? Or horizons? No, because there's only one horizon, right? So it's not a mirage. 1 down. Let's take 2 and 3 together. So is the horizon towering or stooping? From the definition above, towering and stooping change the apparent shape of the object itself. With towering, objects appear stretched. With stooping, objects seem to be shortened. That begs the question then, since you said refraction, is the horizon stretched or shortened in the black swan photo above? Is the horizon stretched or shortened in this photo? No? Why? Don't know. It's just a non sequitur fallacy on its face. So, 3 down. What's next? Sinking. From William Humphrey's Physics of the Air. Sinking is the opposite of looming. In sinking, stationary objects that are normally seen above the horizon appear to be lowered, or may even disappear below the horizon. In looming, the curvature of the horizon is increasing, while sinking produces the opposite effect. We'll get to looming here in a bit. Is the horizon lowered or disappeared below the horizon in the black swan photo? Is the horizon lowered or disappeared below the horizon in the black swan photo? Right here. Non sequitur fallacy. It doesn't follow. 4 down. 1 to go. Looming. from their alma mater wiki. Looming is the most noticeable and most often observed of these refraction phenomena. It is abnormally large refraction of the object that increases the apparent elevation of the distant objects and sometimes allows an observer to see the objects that are located below the horizon under normal conditions. We don't want to trust Wiki here. Let's go with Andrew Thomas Young, subject matter expert, San Diego State University Astronomy Department. Looming, the appearance above the horizon of a distant object that would normally be hidden below it. Is the horizon appearing above the horizon in the black swan photo? Is the horizon appearing above the horizon in this photo here? It's a non sequitur fallacy. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 effects of refraction that are clobbered to death. You don't know what you're talking about. It's clear. None of the effects or the types apply to this photo in relation to the horizon. The friggin' horizon doesn't ever loom. Ever, ever, ever. Now, let's get to the second part of this definition. I really didn't need the second part to destroy it. Now, let me just say this. Even in their paradigm, within the constraints of their paradigm, this definition is incorrect. And I'm going to show this over the next few minutes. But even using this definition within their paradigm, it's still wrong. Let's take a look at it. Speaking to looming, Andrew Thomas Young, this effect is caused by unusually large terrestrial refraction. I can just stop right here at terrestrial refraction, can't I? Let's define that. Let's take a look at that. This is a stone cold begging the question fallacy, folks. Does light refract? Yeah. Is that the same that could be accounted for by terrestrial refraction? Answer, nope. Keyword terrestrial. You see, terrestrial refraction already assumes a sphere. That is, the calculations assume the radius or curvature of the Earth. From the subject matter expert, again, Andrew Thomas Young. The atmosphere is also curved, as it follows the shape of the Earth. In the calculations below, we'll adopt the rough value of 6,400 kilometers as the radius of curvature to make the calculation simple. Well, it's begging the question, Andrew. You see this, Professor? The atmosphere is curved. Do gases remain permanently curved? It's not even stupid. You're assuming the premise, that is, the atmosphere is curved, then by proxy, the Earth is curved, to prove the conclusion true. That is, terrestrial refraction or looming. It's a textbook begging the question fallacy, circular banjo, do-si-do. You've got no way out here. All right, let's deal with the definition. Above, I said that the definition was wrong. Looming, again, by Andrew Thomas Young. The appearance above the horizon of a distant object that would normally be hidden below it. From Quantum Eraser, Andrew Thomas Young's Huckleberry. Looming is nothing more than an optical illusion produced by the sky being inferior mirage underneath an object, giving the appearance of said objects floating above a false horizon. Let's test these definitions with what they actually call looming. This is the quintessential example. Most have seen this photo. I said you could use a trick called off-center vision because this one is probably the toughest one I've seen to see the actual horizon. If you use off-center vision, the horizon is plainly clear. The false horizon is plainly obvious, but the real horizon is plainly clear. It's right off the bow, right? So which definition is correct? Obviously, the sky is being inferior miraged beneath the object, creating a false horizon, and the boat or the object appearing to float, right? Whose definition is more correct? Or is correct, not more correct? I don't know. Looks like Thomas Young's Huckleberry. Whenever we're in trouble, we can always ask Mick, right? He'll save the day. This same photo, Mick had a problem with because the press was calling this a mirage, specifically a Fata Morgana. Now, Mick was right in calling them out because he's correct. This is not a mirage, right? It's not a Fata Morgana. Fata Morgana is you get the inverse of the object on top, right? So he was correct. Credit to Mick. The real horizon is near here, right? So what Mick did, instead of using the off-center vision, he just changed the contrast of the photo. It made it pop out a little bit more, and it's at the same place that you've seen with the off-center vision. He also identified the false horizon. That's correct. His reasoning is wrong. He said that this false horizon was due to a fog bank. Well, Mick, it's not a fog bank. Why? Because if it was a fog bank, you couldn't see the boat. Whose definition is correct? Andrew Thomas Young or Andrew Thomas Young's Huckleberry? Clearly, it's an optical illusion with an inferior mirage underneath the boat, creating a false horizon, giving the optical illusion of the boat floating. Another classic example, and this is from the Scottish Open in 2014. Don't worry about the right-hand photo. The original photo is over here to the left. You don't need off-center vision here. You don't need contrast change. You don't need them to color change, even though they did to the right. You don't need it because everyone can see the horizon. Right? If you look at what they did was color correct over here to the right, it's plainly obvious over here. Whose definition is correct? The sky is obviously being inferior miraged underneath this boat, creating a false horizon and giving the illusion the boat's floating. I think Andrew Thomas Young's Huckleberry got him on this one too. Last one. Raptured boats. Again, you don't need to use off-center vision in this photo either. The horizon is plainly obvious in this photo. What's happening here? Well, the sky is being inferior mirage beneath the objects, giving the illusion of floating with a false horizon. You can see the false horizon right here. It's also fragmented, right? Whose definition is correct of looming? Andrew Thomas Young said it's the appearance above the horizon of a distant object that would normally be hidden below it, or his Huckleberry quantum eraser, looming is nothing more than an optical illusion produced by the sky being inferior mirage underneath an object, giving the appearance of said objects floating above a false horizon. I think I got you, Andrew. But I'm biased. Questions, comments?
When you said the Mick West's fog thing, you said because we couldn't see the boat. In my mind, I was saying because there isn't any fog.
Exactly.
That was deep. No, you're exactly right. I don't know what to say here. I think it's clearly obvious that their definition for looming, or what they call looming, is incorrect and demonstrated with example. I don't know. I don't see any way out of that. You?
Well, I mean, can I add that apparently that there has been a change, right? Because haven't their side been told that they've been using the word looming incorrectly? That it should just be used as the just standard refraction? Something to that effect? Yes, no, maybe so.
I agree with you, Charlotte. A bit. I think that was Rumpus you're talking about, wasn't it?
Yeah,
I got you.
pretty much.
I got you.
Yep. So, I mean, that's a little weird, right? They've been using that word for a few years now, and now they've dug up this subject matter expert to tell them that you can't use it and that it's wrong. And all of a sudden, the argument has changed. So, what else has happened? Oh, did you guys just realize you don't actually have a geometrical horizon? Is that what happened? That's a damn shame.
Yeah, he's told him to use standard refraction, and there's a massive. Well, this has already been pointed out by Quantum Eraser, but suddenly you're into circular reasoning. So if you're going to claim that standard refraction, also known as terrestrial refraction, also known as 7/6R, if I can keep my finger on the button, utilizes R. Well, the R in their geometric mathematics is the geometric horizon position from the center of their presupposed sphere to the point that they're going to draw a tangent line to. So they're going to take a point that they're drawing a tangent line to in physicality and extrapolate out a new position for that R-based point? No. The only way you can move that physical location is to change the R value. As soon as you start looming it, it stops being that geometric position that gives them the R value to extrapolate out the geometric claim to be atmospheric conditions, also known as standard refraction and terrestrial refraction, 7/6R. If you haven't got a geometric R value and a geometric horizon based on the R value, how are you going to extract out 7/6R? Your horizon isn't a terrestrial refraction based R value based on a horizon you haven't got. That makes no sense. But the circular reasoning that they've been told to use instead of the incorrect assertion of looming, incorrectly defined in the first instance by Thomas Young, because he's telling Rumpus not to use looming, doesn't suddenly mean that Thomas Young is correct. Not that he would be correct using looming, but he's also incorrectly defined looming. I know it was rhetorical, QE, but your definition is spot on. You've got something happening above a false horizon, and the miraging of the sky above is clearly self-evident in the picture. But to have Andrew Thomas Young's assertion that we've got something moving with respect to a geometric horizon and being placed above it is simply incorrect. The geometric horizon isn't the false horizon, he's just got a misunderstanding about what happens during looming. So the fact that Rumpus has been told off by somebody who is apparently the alma mater of what happens at the horizon, and the only solution he's been offered is assume 7/6R. Well, R comes from. So if you haven't got a geometric horizon from the R value, how are you going to use the R value to give you 7/6 of itself? You haven't got it in the first place. It's another checkmate. But basically, he's left them high and dry. Oh, just assume terrestrial refraction. Just use standard refraction. Like, what do you mean use standard refraction? You've got Ruhif using infinite over 6R. What, and your answer is to use 7/6? What a great response.
I already forgot about the infinite over 6R.
They just make stuff up from MSU. If it's not there, just make it up. Make it up on the fly. And then act like, why don't you people understand? I don't get that type of delusion. I don't. Can somebody please define that for me? I mean, everyone knows who can fog a mirror, knows you're just making it up. And then you act arrogant like you have the right answer? I mean, you need to be institutionalized. Everyone knows it, just to let you know. My word, people.
Yeah, we got someone in the chat that says, well, but again, my critique of QE is purely logical. His logical is not accurate. The consequence of his first premise is a straw man. But that's what Nathan just said. It's based on the R value. That's already defined, right?
Okay, wait a second. Let's go up. Let's entertain this. Okay, the first premise is P. So if the Earth is a sphere with a radius of 3959 miles, P, you think that's a straw man?
Yeah.
Are you insane?
So their argument, their entire paradigm is a straw man. Is that what they're saying? Because
Yes.
That's correct. Yeah, if you attack if you attack the logic in God, talk useless. If you attack the logic, you're attacking the premise of sphere geometry. The starting premise is the Earth's claimed geometry. If that's incorrect, my understanding from Dark Star in the chat was he's claiming that no scientific document claims that the distance to horizon can't be any more than. So he's got this issue with you saying it's not more. I give up.
Do you have anything other than push to talk? I'll take over for you.
Just want to.
I think I'm going to have to take over for you. Listen, next time, Betty, go ahead and state the name of the person giving the argument because he's already been toe tagged with this. I don't understand you whistling past the graveyard. They don't have to verbalize every horizon distant measurement must be no more than. It's based on geometry. If you're a communist, you don't have to go around stating that you're against private property. You're a communist. That's implicit in your philosophy. Just like if the Earth is a sphere with a radius, that's implicit. It's your paradigm. My word.
Time for a super chat then.
Go ahead. Any admin?
Yeah, that's from Ricky Alive, and he says, "Shh, Black Swan. I'm on mute."
Black Swan.
Thanks, Dave.
Can I plug my show?
Can you hold the button down?
I've got a new button. Seems to work okay.
Yeah. You sound great, by the way. Go ahead.
So it's starting in 15 minutes over on Nathan Oakley channel. Flat Earth Debate, Uncut and After Show. Check it out. Be Here or Be Sphere. That's Nathan Oakley channel. I'll spam the link when we're finished.
All right, let's rock. Woo. Horizons. Let me show you something. From National Geographic. Let's take a closer look at these. There are 5 horizons, according to National Geographic. I got all 5 plus an additional one from Encyclopedia Britannica. So let's go over this. We've all seen this. I stated this one in the beginning of the presentation. The local horizon, also called the geometrical horizon, is the visible boundary between the Earth and sky. The geometric horizon. Number 2, the geographic horizon is the apparent boundary between the Earth and sky. Well, that's the geometric horizon, because the geometric horizon is the apparent boundary between the Earth and sky. It's apparent. That's redundant. The sea level horizon is the geographic horizon at sea level. Well, the geographic horizon is the geometric horizon. So if the sea level horizon is the geographic horizon, and the geographic horizon is the geometric horizon. They're just placing these funny little names on it. I don't know why they're doing it. They're all the same. It's all the geometric horizon. Number 4, this is from National Geographic. The astronomical horizon is the imaginary horizontal plane. I can stop right there. I'm not dealing with any imagination. Right? From Encyclopedia Britannica, the astronomical horizon from them. Horizon in astronomy, the boundary where the sky seems to meet the ground or sea. Well, that's the geometric horizon. And the last one, the true horizon is the imaginary. Well, I can stop right there, can't I? We're not dealing with imagination, folks. We're dealing with reality. So, may I present to you the latest and greatest baller rebuttal. We don't need a drum roll. You better hold on to your hats, folks. Thank you very much for jumping. Gonna delay the inevitable. There it is. I'll just stop and just drop anchor right here. Questions, comments?
Can't hold on to my hat and push to talk.
There it is.
Drop an anchor. These
yeah.
stations.
That's probably
Mhm.
I'm speechless.
Are you? That's
Yeah.
the first.
There it is, folks. Make special note that this down on the bottom, if you can't make it out, says not exact location, just so you have the details.
Got a super chat for you.
Go on.
Okay, that's from James Richard. He says, a good tree cannot produce rotten fruit, nor can a rotten tree produce good fruit. Can space produce anything good, or is it all life-threatening evil? Question mark.
Thanks, James. So we have two horizons in this picture. Do I even need to speak to this?
I might have
don't know.
lost
I
the
think
words
it's.
for this one.
I mean, it's only like I'm not sure if it's a notch above or a notch below. Just saying, I don't even know where the damn horizon is in the picture. Instead of saying that, just take a line and just put it in anywhere in the picture you want, and just say, "Look, geometric horizon. There it is." Thanks.
Jose?
No comments.
Yeah, I got one.
Oh, there's Tony. What's up, man?
I'm just going to turn the volume down at background. 1 second.
All right. Maybe this will help out. I put the definition of the geometrical horizon just below. Maybe that'll help.
Okay.
Just before Anthony goes, I'd just like to say it's important we remember not to
Shut
fight
up!
this as a.
I'm sorry for interrupting you. Go ahead. That was rude of me. Go ahead, Nathan.
No, I was just taking the piss. I was about to say it's important we don't fight this as a flat Earth proof and actually take it as a ball Earth killer, just in case nobody had mentioned it before now.
Do you know what's actually funny about it is Nathan's doing this because it's kind of like reverse trolling. Because on the one hand, it appears like he's trolling me, right? But actually, he's getting the message out again. So in case you didn't see it the other day or the other 4 or 5 times we've said it, because we're not pushing it as a flat Earth proof, and he's right. So what appears to be trolling is actually reinforcement, which is why it's worth pointing out again. So keep on trolling, Nathan. It's really good that people hear that message because even our own side are getting this wrong. But John, have you still got it on screen, that picture?
I do, sir.
Nathan, as my witness, isn't Rumpus's position that you can hire a theodolite for about £30 and you can go to the beach and you can point it at the horizon and you can calculate an approximate calculation for the radius of Earth based on what he says is the horizon? Well, if he was to go to the beach and he was to point the theodolite at where the horizon is, he would get a value that would be something like the size of Jupiter. So if this picture, as claimed by the ballers, is correct, then when Rumpus says things like, I am 100% right 100% of the time, either Rumpus is wrong or the apparent horizon is the only horizon in the picture, and you've just plucked it out your arse for where the geometric horizon is. Because if Rumpus claims that we can calculate the radius of the Earth with a theodolite, he's going to be pointing it at the place that gives him a value of Jupiter. Anybody disagree?
No.
So either the Rumpus is wrong, or the apparent horizon is the only horizon we actually have.
Hey, Sleeping Warrior, that's a very fair point, because on our Discord, we get the theodolite argument a lot, and you just gave me a good argument for it based on this. So,
Well, whatever the horizon is, the only way that the horizon can be apparent is on a flat Earth model, right? Whatever that model might be. Because it's the point where you can no longer see far enough, unless you've got bionic eyes, and we have no atmosphere and we're in a vacuum, and objects don't get smaller as a function of distance. And unless that was the case, then we would be able to see forever, but we can't. Because things do get smaller, we don't have bionic eyes, and there is an atmosphere. But if you mix them three things together, that's why we got a hodgepodge of a horizon. Sometimes it appears flat, sometimes it appears curvy, but the reality is, whatever the horizon is, it's really complicated on our model because we don't know how far we see. Visibility varies day to day. But on their model, it's absolute. It's the geometric, physical thing that boats are supposed to go over. So when Bill Nye, if you look at Bill Nye's video with that bluey, greeny coloured background where he's got the boat that looks like it's going through paint and it leaves a trail, on that video he shows boats going over the geometric horizon. But it's not geometric, is it? And if it's not geometric, that means Bill Nye's wrong as well. Boats aren't going over the horizon. So let's just all have a moment of silence as we remember our friend, the heliocentric model. He served us well, but ultimately he succumbed to his own injuries. We need a trumpet in the background going, "Pa, pa." Game over, guys. If your apparent horizon is not geometric, then boats ain't going over it. And refraction doesn't account for it. Sorry, I'm done.
Rest in peace.
I'd like to point out something here. Let's go over this. If people aren't paying attention, they're in chat or they're cooking dinner. Can I get your attention, please? Just for a moment. In this photo that I was bombarded with over the past 2 days, they have the geometric horizon right here. Let's define the geometric horizon. Let's see if this holds any water. From National Geographic, the local horizon, also called the geometrical horizon, is the visible boundary between the Earth and the sky. Is this line the visible boundary between the Earth and the sky? Wow. That's the level that we're at, folks. This is the level that we're at right now. I was gobsmacked. I didn't make this up. I was challenged with this over the past 2 days a number of times with this photo from various ballers. I also like, you know what I also like, ballers? Why don't you just white out the picture, right? I like the white in here. It's really nice. Really shows you the horizon. It's a nice touch. Thanks for that.
Hey, John.
Yeah.
I just want to give... I want to give you an opportunity to correctly address somebody's question in chat. It was when he was asking... What was his name now? Dark Star. You know, the guy that got toe tagged recently. You misread his question. Or Betty misread his question. His question was, you've got... Your consequent is wrong. You've got your P bit right if the Earth's got a radius of this, but he says that you've got the consequent incorrect. He says that then all horizons cannot be any more than 1.2 miles. That's what he says that you've got wrong.
How can I get it wrong? It's based on the geometry of a sphere with a radius of 3959 miles. No, I didn't get it wrong. Everyone that has ever done simple geometry is wrong, including Andrew Thomas Young. This isn't wrong.
Yeah, what he's doing is he's conflating the apparent horizon with the distance to the horizon. So he thinks that the distance to the horizon equals the apparent horizon, even though it's behind the turbine, the oil platforms. So he thinks that because, although the distance is correct, and because it appears behind the platforms, he thinks that that means that you've got your consequent wrong. He doesn't realise that it literally blows his argument out the water. The ball model is broken by virtue of that thing he claims is you getting the consequent wrong.
Yeah.
He doesn't understand what geometric means. So his argument is to say, no, we say it could be beyond. It's beyond its geometric position. Is what,
You're chopping.
As soon as you start moving it beyond its geometric position, it stops being geometric. But he doesn't understand that.
And apparent. Do I need to go over apparent horizon again? How painfully, excruciatingly painful, redundant this is. Do I need to say that again?
Yeah, well, not that. He says the consequent of the first premise is false. Nowhere in the scientific literature does it say that the horizon cannot exceed the geometric horizon.
Oh my goodness gracious.
Is he trying to say that there might be purple swans somewhere?
No, he's saying the horizon's loomed above the horizon.
That's exactly what he's
and
saying.
As soon as you do that, it stops being a geometric measurement. It stops being geometric and becomes optical. It's another welcome to flat Earth situation. So you're saying the horizon's not geometric? Welcome to flat Earth. Yes, that's correct. Yeah. It's not geometric. You're saying it's based on the optics? Well, you've got a geometric model, you moron.
Let's take it to the logical conclusion of his point. Let's just say that there was no refraction whatsoever and it was 1.2 miles away. The geometric horizon was 1.2 miles away. And let's add a little bit of refraction. It pushes it up to 3 miles away because it brings it back from behind the curve. It can't do it by its own definition.
Can't do that.
No, you can't do that.
Yeah, I know.
It's geometric. You can't suddenly start looming something because it stops being geometric. So as soon as you do that, well, hold on, don't because you're doing it.
I know, but just let me for a minute. I understand your point, and we all do. What I'm doing is taking it to its logical point. I have got a point here. Just let me finish.
Go ahead.
Let's say we add a bit more refraction and take it to 5 miles because it looms up from behind.
Take what?
Let's add a bit more refraction.
Take what to 5 miles?
The horizon, because in his head, that's what he thinks is happening. The horizon's being pushed back. He thinks that's what's happening. So let's push it a bit.
Which horizon?
I know. The horizon, the apparent horizon now is at 5.
Sorry, so the non-physical horizon is now at 5 miles. So the non-geometric horizon is now at 5 miles.
Yeah.
Oh, I see. Oh, well,
I'm still getting there,
got a geometric horizon, doesn't it?
Bear with me. Let's push it up to the 10 miles that pushes it behind the second platform where it's seen. At 10 miles, the apparent horizon's there, but he still thinks that's the horizon because it's being loomed up. But he's got a problem because it's literally limited by distance. So it can't ever be any greater than the 1.2. So even though he's trying to make the apparent horizon the geometric horizon because it's just been loomed up, he can't because it's still limited by distance, not by perception, not by the way it looks or the way we perceive it. It's limited by distance, and we see the horizon behind the oil platforms. So you can't even do that logically. It doesn't follow. It's a non sequitur point. It doesn't follow logically.
Let me just correct him. Let me add him. Okay, Anthony, you've done what Brenda did earlier. Contrasted physical, i.e. what you're saying is geometric, with what you just said as apparent. Well, non-physical is what you're looking for. As soon as you start, as this dark star is doing, saying, no, nobody claims the horizon can't be beyond the geometric horizon. That's his argument. Well, as soon as you start moving it with optics, it isn't geometric anymore. But you're saying apparent. Well, that's just a terminology error. So just non-physical. So physical, geometric, non-physical is what you're calling apparent.
I'm just taking it to its logical conclusion based on what he perceives is the explanation. It doesn't logically follow that your horizon can ever be 10 miles, even if it's apparent, because it's limited to 1.2. So the apparent horizon can't be 10 miles away because, aside from the fact the lumen doesn't work, it doesn't logically follow anyway, even though I've used the wrong phrase. So I was just begging the question, that's all.
Yeah. We got one more tiny subject left to go. I'm going to go over ray tracing. We can always come back to this. I don't even know why we need to come back to this. It's preposterous, ludicrousness, absurdity. There's so much wrong here. If you don't see it, like apodictically, I don't know what to tell you. Ray tracing. If you haven't heard this comment or topic before, you will. Just wait. So let's get, again, our buddy, Andrew Thomas Young from San Diego State University, Astronomy Department, the subject matter expert on ray tracing. Some people have worried about how to apply the refraction law to such a horizontal ray of light, because it does not cross any horizontal boundaries between denser and less dense air in a stratified atmosphere. In general, the curvature of the ray is different from the curvature of the Earth's surface. But here, we are only concerned with rays that bend just enough to follow the curve of the Earth. The simplest solution to the horizontal ray paradox, is to remind ourselves that rays are an unrealistic mental construct. In reality, we always have a beam of light. Infinitely narrow rays don't really exist. Get it? Thanks for your ear. Have a nice day. Questions, comments?
I'll just say welcome to Flat Earth, everybody.
That's just what the super chat said from Alexander. Welcome to Flat Earth and a thumbs up. Oh.
Black swan.
Yep.
Well, if that's a wrap, I'll say go over to my second channel, Nathan Oakley, premiering now, uncut and after show. Be here or be sphere.
It's not a wrap just yet. Jose, comments, questions?
No comments on ray tracing whatsoever.
FE Jedi, sir.
Absolutely nothing, buddy. That last bit about ray tracing, though, that was spot on. I like that. Doesn't even exist. Brilliant stuff.
Chaco.
Yeah, like I said, this guy is talking about ray tracing things that don't exist. I don't know. Where else do you go from there? The geometric horizon doesn't exist. Ray tracing doesn't exist, or rays don't exist. I mean, we're talking. This guy before said that. I mean, it's just nonsense. I don't even know what else to say at this point. Welcome to Flat Earth. We live on a beautiful flat stationary plane, and it's awesome. So.
Nathan, sir, have you ever been challenged with ray tracing?
Yeah, I mean, we were told that we were going to get a ray tracing model from Rumpus when we were doing the Isle of Man debate. So Anthony went down to the beach, got on his belly and filmed the north end of the Isle of Man, and we were told that it could be modelled perfectly with ray tracing. It never
But how
actually
high
came.
is that off the floor, right?
It was on. You had the camera on the beach. I mean, it was at sea level.
Okay.
So therefore, 50 feet, according to them.
Is Anthony that fat?
Hey,
Wow, that's
I'm
low
back.
blow.
I'm back. Let me just point out something as well. You know, when Rumpus had, I think he was on Ranty's channel recently, and he had his infamous diagram on, you know, the diagram that he shows a million times. And he was showing how the curvature of the light rays follow the shape of the Earth, but he got the bottom end of it, and he was wagging it like a dog's tail. But what that does when you wag it like that to demonstrate the point that he was making, guess what it does when you lift it up to create the 7/6R effect? It creates a bulge in the middle. It creates obstruction. It can't do that in real world, aside from the fact the light doesn't follow a curve. But all the light can't bend up the way he wants because it would end up missing your head, or you'd have to watch him do it again, but realise that something's rising up in the foreground and it wouldn't create the optical effect that he thinks just because he can make it line that way. Real world, it wouldn't actually do that. Just watch it back and have a look. It's funny.
Betty.
Right, I'm dropping. I'm going taking the dog for a walk. I'll be back later.
All right, sir. Thanks for coming.
Okay, bye.
Betty.
Yeah, I got some admin for you. Another super chat from Be Still and Know. And it says, I pray that the God of the authorized version continue to bless you all.
Well, thank you. Appreciate that, sir.
Yeah. And some people got my little humor in the chat like that.
And what was that something about being fat?
Well, Nathan said, well, when Anthony was on his belly in the sand, right, making a picture. Yeah, well, how fat was he, right?
Oh, brother, we have to talk about this. This is the level, right? This is
Yeah, well, a little fun. Come on.
yeah. But
Yeah.
I don't know what you're gonna do, ballers. I don't know what you're gonna do because every avenue you take to try to get out of this, there's a flamethrower waiting. You're checkmated 6 ways from Sunday. I mean, you're trying. There's no doubt about it. I really liked the other photo. It was really special. This one, I like I said, I was gobsmacked. I don't know what to say. Is this serious? Was this I got it. Was this a joke?
No, they argue that. Brenda's come in and argued that. 2 horizons, 3 horizons, 5 horizons. Well, where are the other horizons? Well, they're here somewhere. Well, no, a horizon's an arbitrary position. It's where the sky appears to meet the ground. There's only one of them, by definition. But they go, there's another one down here somewhere. So yeah, they absolutely argue that.
That's true. I did hear Brenda on Ranty live stream a couple days ago, maybe a week ago, and she claimed that the geometric horizon is down there, but what's looming is the apparent horizon.
Well,
I think it's
I would. Go ahead, Nate. I'm sorry.
I was just going to say, I think it's a recognition of the argument. She obviously appreciates that they must have a geometric horizon, and must have necessitates just putting one in the picture somewhere else, which is just brilliant. It's out of necessity that their stupid arguments are brilliant. They're very funny. Me and Adam, especially, have been just chuckling along with these stupid arguments that they come up with that demonstrate they don't understand the argument and are ludicrous by definition. You know, having an extra horizon that they arbitrarily shove in somewhere else on the sea line is just comical to me. It's great.
Exactly. And I would stress to, especially to anybody that's just getting into this, is, just starting to get into this topic, go back to the old debates that we've had for years now, right? Listen to what these guys are saying. Listen to their arguments, right? Try to pick out how many times they've argued over 3 horizons, right? How many times have they told us there's a horizon that we don't see, apparently, right? And then come back to today, right? And compare it. And you'll see how significantly this argument has changed and how that's so bad for their narrative. Because before 2020, nobody was talking about 3 horizons. Now all of a sudden there's horizons all over the place. So ask yourself, if you're just getting into this, why is that happening? Right? I'm done.
Let's wrap it
Let
up,
me just-
folks. Oh,
Well,
I'm
I'll
sorry,
give it a
Nathan.
quick-
Go ahead.
Well, I'll give my quick summary to wrap it up. There is only one horizon, and a globe horizon must be geometric and physical. We don't have a physical geometric horizon. Therefore, Earth is not a sphere. Also, and far more importantly, all 175 people watching, you need to go over to Nathan Oakley channel right now and check out Flat Earth Debate Uncut and After Show. It's premiering right now.
That's so bad.
Fe Jedi, sir. Final thoughts. Any upcoming
Yeah.
projects? Anything before we go?
No, just head on over to the 24/7 Flat Earth Discord server if you're experiencing any of the stages of grief when you've lost your ball. We'll shove a black swan up your ass. No, buddy. No.
Love it.
Jose Mesa. I wasn't ready for that. Jose Mesa. Final thoughts, sir.
I think everybody needs to actually take the modus tollem, stick it to them. And if you want to debate the Black Swan, you can debate it at a place at 24/7, live stream. You can go to the live stream on YouTube, or you can go to the Discord and, come bring your best arguments for it. We're waiting for it. Other than that, I'm excited to see how many more horizons I'll see in these upcoming debates.
Thank you, sir. I know, Chocolate, you just gave a little lengthy one and finished it up. Any final thoughts? Any projects coming up? Anything on the horizon for you?
Which horizon are we talking about?
It doesn't matter.
I know. Nah, man, it's a great show. Glad to be here. Yeah, just I'll reiterate for people to pay attention to what the other side, the ball, the heliocentric narrative is saying. Pay attention to what these guys are saying, because their entire argument is switched up. And for that to happen, something detrimental has had to happen to them. So pay attention, and you'll see why they are flailing all over the place. And when you realize it, you could just tell them, hey guys, welcome to Flat Earth. I'm done.
You got one last bit of admin.
Yes, really nice one. It's from Sam Hine, and he says, "Can you guys quiet down? I'm trying to listen to Nathan's premiere."
It's already going. You already started it.
Yes, it did. That's what's so wicked. It's not even a plug. It's just go over to the other side, people.
What are
We
friends
continue
for?
there.
Betty, final thoughts on the Black Swan, just for today, because like I said, we're going to have plenty of occasion to discuss it. Any final thoughts with it?
No, this is just what Chocolate said, and I've never heard it before. Even every time that we have an argument or a thing debunked of the globe, it seems that they double back on their words, on their previous history and the things that they said before. It's all doublethink and doublespeak to me, and I've never heard so many squirming and talking around it on this argument. So it amazes me, and I think that people have much invested in their globe beliefs that they can't let go of it. It's really indoctrination. That's it. But luckily, we are here to do an intervention.
Thanks, guys. Appreciate it. Ballers. We're not just going to let you walk out of here. Take no prisoners. No quarter will be asked. None shall be given. And remember, I'll be back.